So, Supergirl was awful and this is the end of the DCU. Well, that's what some people would have you believe. And they're right about Superman being a fluke and every other films is just going to end up being like this one. I can't lie, if the average DCU project is going to be like Supergirl, I'm really here for it. Now, before we get into the review, the non-spoilers and then the spoilers, I've just got to clear up that I am not like a long-time DC fan. I got really into Gotham one time, I've seen a few of the films, I haven't seen most of the Snyderverse films, but I, as a massive superhero fan, got really, really, really into Superman last year, as can be sort of understood by I did a Jimmy Olsen cosplay very, very fast, and have continued to do it this entire year, including wearing Jimmy Olsen to go to a Supergirl event, which was really fun. So there we go, the disclaimer that I am not like a lifelong DC fan. I really enjoy it. I have like a baseline knowledge of that I've gained through osmosis of hanging around nerds. Something else that I do need to say, I have not read Woman of Tomorrow. I've seen screenshots, I've seen like clippings of it. However, I didn't read that before going into this film, so my opinion of this film is taking it as itself, not as the adaptation. I understand there are issues from an adaptation standpoint, but that's not where I'm coming from. I watched this film, I'm a massive nerd, and yeah, let's get into the non-spoiler thoughts first. I'll let you know when I get into spoilers. So, first thing that definitely needs to be said is that Millie Alcock is perfect. She's brilliant. I'll get into specifics later, but she is so good, and I am so sick of seeing people saying that this film is bad and she's bad and she needs to be replaced. I can't believe someone said that. She's genuinely the best part about this film, and given that this film is a character film, that's perfect. We've all seen that clip of Clark clarking, and of course he's brilliant, and does so through like all of his appearances in the film.
Shoot, I wasn't raised there, so I wasn't raised there. Why am I talking louder?
You can't help but smile when you see that Superman, because he's just amazing. I really enjoyed Ruthie, she was fun, and worked really well with Millie, she was great. Jason Momoa is clearly having so much fun with this, and that's all we really needed from it. I enjoyed loads of the special effects for this, a lot of the practical aliens, the makeup, and the space scenes especially look really good. When Millie speaks Kryptonian, of course it's amazing. She was in House of the Dragon, speaking High Valyrian. Of course she was going to be brilliant at doing Kryptonian. The suit is an upgrade on the one that we got in Superman. I feel bad for all the cosplayers that got that suit and then have to get another one, but you know. A lot of the costuming really is great in this film. And I'll get into a specific one that I need to talk about later. And before we get to spoilers, can I please just complain about the 3 instances of throwing up? Superman already triggered my issue with people vomiting with the nanite stuff that Superman had to pull out of himself. I couldn't deal with that. I also cannot deal with 3 instances of throwing up in one film. And I've seen this film twice. DCU, please don't make this a consistent thing. I don't want to have to see people throwing up every film. Okay, on to spoilers. If you haven't seen the film, go and see it. I think that Supergirl's fighting is amazing. Like, she's got elements of how Clark fights, but she's not pulling her punches, she's more brutal, and it fits. It's amazing. You can feel the contact, you can feel like how she's feeling through it. Her taking down that guy at the bar at the beginning without powers was sick. She also pulls out a move that Clark does to the engineer, which is like the throwing round at the end. She does that, which I thought was really cool that they are both sort of doing the same thing. The 2 family deaths in this film are brutal. It felt a bit like when that guy gets killed in Superman, it just like drops the floor out from under you of 2 families just straight up die. And I'll address the end, but those 2 families' deaths are needed in the way that they're done in order to understand what happens to Krem at the end, and justify it, and make that make sense. Because, spoiler alert, it does make sense, despite what people on the internet would have you believing. Something I do want to say is that everything with Krypton, I love. It looks brilliant. The costumes are amazing. They were giving me Andor vibes. While I was watching it, I was like, that just looks like Andor, Coruscant costuming. And I don't know if you know this, but I love Andor's costuming. Again, Millie's Kryptonian is amazing, and obviously it gets shown a lot during the Krypton scenes. The different language doesn't affect her acting, and being able to see that and all the emotion in it while she's speaking a fictional language is just a testament to Millie. Again, she's perfect. Why are people complaining about her? Also, being able to see the effects of the kryptonite, not only in the people, the parents, everyone on Krypton, being able to see it on Argo's, like, vegetation and trees. You can see, like, they do a shot of a tree when it's on Krypton, and then when it's Argo, you can see that loads of the leaves have fallen off. I thought that was a really good way of showing the effect that the kryptonite is having. Millie's scream is one of the highlights of the film. It was amazing. It was, again, she is brilliant. That scream is so good, and she just removes herself from the situation, goes and screams, and then comes and does shit. And it's so cathartic, and it's what needed to happen. It felt correct. She's not taken out by, like, destroying something. She is just taking herself out of the situation and screaming and getting it all out. Because she had to in that moment. I enjoyed that we got a different POV of Metropolis. Seeing it more at street level, with the different lighting, the more yellow lighting, was great. Also, I was very happy about the blurry Daily Planet cameo. Because as a Jimmy Olsen fan, of course I am. Lobo was fun. Yeah, he's not in it as much as the promotional material would have you believe, but he does what he needs to do. He's fun. He adds a little bit. He gets some great stuff to do. It's brilliant. And there is that line of there is somewhere for him to go. He's still about. He was still about at the end. He's the person that knows what Kara did. So I'm pretty much confident in saying that this is not the last time we are seeing Jason Momoa as Lobo. Also, everything he says sounds like he's a video game character. Like, it sounds weirdly not perfect for the moment, but also just, like, applicable anywhere. I don't know how to express it, but the first time I saw the film, I was like, he just sounds like he's a video, like, NPC that you're, like, walking past, who has stuff that can be said in any situation. It's really weird. I'd like to know if anybody else had that sort of, he sounds like a video game character sort of moment. I also have written in my notes a lot of space grunge, which I feel like does encapsulate a lot of the aesthetic of the film. I mean, I personally would have liked to have a little bit more diversity in the ecosystems, the planets, like, the technology, because we get great diversity in Alien. We get different prosthetics, different sizes, different species. It's great. But then all the planets look quite similar. I say all the planets. A lot of the places we visit are, like, indistinguishable from each other. And one complaint I have seen is that they're not, like, colourful enough, which, yeah, maybe a bit more colour would have been nice, especially as it's pulling from Woman of Tomorrow, which, yes, I've not read, but it looks very colourful. My gold standard for variation on planets and ecosystems and different vibes is the Jedi games, but of course that is. I love those games. And I think everything that tries to have about 5 planets should be that sort of vibe of they're all pretty distinguishable. And of course, let's talk about the end. I like it. Controversial, probably, but I like it. That needle drop is Ruthie's perspective. She's a kid. She is seeing Kara as Supergirl for the first time. She's seeing Kara be that figure, that person that is defending her innocence, and that needle drop is the point of Ruthie feels safe, and she is feeling protected, and that's what that moment is for. It's not for a badass fight scene, it's to convey how Ruthie is feeling. And, well, on Kara killing Krem, I like it. I said this to my friend when we walked out the cinema after the second viewing. She feels like River Song in the fact that, yes, she's associated with Superman and those ideals, and the way that River Song is associated with the Doctor and his ideals, but she's not held to the same ideals that he is. Again, insert the clip from Big Bang.
Records indicate you will show mercy. You are an associate of the Doctor's.
I'm River Song. Check your records again.
I have very different ideas about what it means to be a hero.
Kara isn't Superman. She's not Clark. Krem needed to die, especially given what we've seen him do, killing those 2 families and also the human trafficking, and Kara being the adult took Ruthie out of that. Took Ruthie and her want to kill Krem and took that away to save her innocence, and she did it because that's what needed to be done. It felt very much like the plot of Days of Future Past, where they're trying to stop Mystique from killing her first person, and I very much enjoyed it. So is Supergirl good or bad? It's no Superman, but it's not as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be. It's an enjoyable superhero film with a good main character in a character-driven film, with a couple of good supporting characters, some good action scenes, especially the space ones. It's funny, and while it's not perfect, it's a good film. That's all it needed to be. Let me know what you thought about Supergirl. I know I'm apparently in the minority of actually really quite enjoying it, but I honestly cannot wait to see where it goes next. Because Kara is apparently pretty prominent in Man of Tomorrow, which we're getting next year. I mean, so is Jimmy Olsen, so I'm happy. Anyway, that is it from me, so check out my socials, they're in the description as usual, Instagram, Twitter, that shit. Again, let me know what you thought. I'm hopefully going to be doing another video like this for Brand New Day at the end of the month, so stick around for that. Subscribe, like, all those things. Okay, bye.